Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be giving my first thoughts and impressions of Chaplain Grimaldus from the Black Templars and their new codex. Uh, as a disclaimer, and as I've said before in previous videos talking about Black Templar units and giving my first impressions, I've not played an actual 2,000 point game with them yet. I have already built out an army. I already know how I'm going to run it and all that, but I do not have any first-hand experience with a 2,000 point Black Templars list. So this is just purely my first thoughts and first impressions, quick thoughts and first impressions of Chaplain Grimaldus. So with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoy. Starting off with my thoughts and first impressions is the model. Is Grimaldus's model along with his servitors. Now, I think in terms of the model, like of Grimaldus himself, he's a very good-looking model. I mean, I'd say like of any chaplain that I've ever seen, he's probably by far my favorite-looking chaplain. Period. I wish all chaplains would look like him. He's kind of cool-looking. I also like how his helmet, the Vox grill on it, looks like a frowning, like, bared and gritted teeth. Just looks really good. With regards to his servitors, I'm not a fan of how they look, but I'm also just not a fan of how servitors look. Period. Not that they're bad looking models, just overall, but I think of him and his retinue. I don't like how they look. They're just kind of whatever. But moving away from his model and and his retinue's model and looking at his profile, or just looking at the profile of him as a unit, overall, I think Grimaldus is a fairly solid supporting character with whatever unit he's attached to. He costs 111 points. You can only use one of him because he's a epic hero, and he can be attached to the same units as a marshal. I'm not going to go over the specifics as to what those units are. If you'd like to refer to that, you can go refer to either the data sheet on New Recruit, Wahapedia, or if you want to look at my video talking about the Marshal, you can go refer to that as well. But moving away from just general profile and going into his abilities, Litanies of the Devout, nice bonus. Rerolling hits is always nice to have. Just period. Like that's never a bad thing to have, especially since it's not reroll hit rolls of ones. It's just you can reroll the hit roll. That's good. That's a solid, nice bonus to have. Especially if he's attached to Crusaders. With the Chainswords. Yeah, that's solid. I mean, it just means more chances of getting some sustained hits off or some lethal hits off. Moving on to Temple Relics. Now, I do know from briefly looking into their index, or the Black Templars index, and looking at what Grimaldus had before, he did used to give a 5-up Feel No Pain, among other things that he could give that were like really, really good. Now no longer does that. I've heard some discourse online of Grimaldus apparently not being as like auto include as he had once been because of his nerfs. Honestly, the way I look at it, like just reading his current ability of with Temple Relics, they're still good buffs. I mean, yeah, there's no 5-up Feel No Pain or no re-rolling advance and charge rolls for the unit. Like, yeah, those are all gone or changed, but he still has solid abilities. I mean, being able to add a 1 inch, or being able to add 1 to advance and charge rolls, that's useful. That just means that, hey, the unit now is guaranteed to move 1 inch further on an advance, or a +1 to a charge roll, meaning that, hey, if you had to make a 9-inch charge for whatever reason, you need to roll an 8, right? Instead of needing to roll a 9, right? You could roll an 8 minimum, and bam, there you go. Add 1 to toughness characteristics of models in this unit. That's just good. That's always a solid buff to have. Make a unit of sword brethren go be toughness 5. Like, that's solid. Improving the AP of melee weapons equipped by the model by 1, that's good, because you can make chain swords AP -2, or mastercrafted power swords, I believe, AP -3. Like, that's just solid. Like, he's overall good for like what Grimaldus has, just based off of my reading of him, like as he currently stands. He's still a good character to attach with. He's still a good character to help support and buff whatever he's with, right? Yeah, losing a 5-up Feel No Pain does suck, because it means that, hey, now they're not like hard to kill. They're just harder to get wounds through because toughness goes up by 1. I think that, honestly, that's just a healthier change. It makes him more of a healthy pick, and there's got to be a little bit more consideration of, like, do I want to take Grimaldus, right? That's what it's like. If there had to be any negative or any criticism I could make with him, and I mean him, not his servitors, because I think the way his servitors look, just that's a negative. That they just don't look very good in my opinion. But with him, honestly, I don't really have anything like negative to gripe about him. Like, because I'm not someone who's like heavily invested in him before during his index, so I'm not gonna speak negatively about his loss of a 5-up Feel No Pain. For him and his unit, with the one temple relic from the index. But, like, overall, it's like he's got a solid profile with his toughness, save, wounds. He does not have an invuln save, or no, he does have an invuln save. My mistake. He has a 4-up invuln save, so that's good. That's just good. 5-up leadership for him. His servitors have an 8+ leadership, so that is what it is. But he's got a plasma pistol, so he has some fairly nice little decent extra shooting to whatever he's attached to. His melee weapon, I mean, he has the Crozius. It's a better Crozius, but he has a Crozius, and then the servitors have their close combat weapons, which I mean are not great, but I mean, hey, they're there. Nothing really negative to add other than just I don't like how the servitors look, and I think they're ugly. Like, that's really it. But with that, guys, I want to thank you all for watching and listening. Feel free to comment down below what your thoughts are on Chaplain Grimaldus and his retinue. If you had, and also, like, what kind of experiences have you had of him? This is regardless if you've played Black Templars and used him in their index or in their codex since it's come out. What kind of experiences and what your thoughts are of him, having dealt with him, right? Like, if you know someone and play against someone who plays Black Templars a lot, what kind of experiences was that like? Was it good? Was it bad? Did you find him to be really annoying? Do you think that his 5-up Feel No Pain being taken away is ultimately a good thing, or do you rage against the machine and think it's a bad thing and they should bring it back? Feel free to let me know in the comments. Like always, feel free to comment down below if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. And to that end, liking and subscribing does go a long way to help me and gauge interests in this kind of stuff. But with that, guys, that'll be it. So once again, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great time wherever you may find yourself, whether you're at school, at work, at home, or chilling. Hope you have a great time. And if you're not, and things are going poorly, well, I hope things can get better. Sincerely, I do hope things can get better and turn around. But until the next time, guys, I'll see you next time. Peace.